All right, hi everybody, we're going to get started. My name is Amy O'Leary, I'm the Executive Director of SEMCOG, and we're so glad you are all able to be here today. I wanted to just start by saying thank you to Orion Township, where living is a vacation, for being members of SEMCOG and being very active members of the organization. So SEMCOG is a council of governments. We have 186 local governments that are members of ours. So cities, villages, townships, counties, community colleges, intermediate school districts, they're all members of our organization across 7 counties of Southeast Michigan, and that's home to almost 5 million people. So just about half the state, half the state's population is within our service area. When we acknowledge all of the work that SEMCOG does and our connection with Orion Township, we would be remiss to not specifically mention all the work that Chris Barnett has done, not just as the supervisor of Orion Township, but many times very involved with SEMCOG. He was the chair of our organization, and actually he is rising in the ranks on the national scene, and soon will be the chair of our National Association of Regional Councils. So thank you for your service. We appreciate it so much. So in addition to being a local association of local governments that I mentioned, we also have some federal designations, and so as the regional planning entity. So we have a federal designation for transportation, and that's the Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, some will call us. We also have the designation as the Air and Water Quality Planning Agency, and the most recent one is we are the Economic Development District for Southeast Michigan. We think that all fits together rather nicely because, like you all, when you do a project, we don't do a project and think just about that project. We think about what does that project mean for our residents, for economic development, for the environment, for all of it for Southeast Michigan, just like I know you do for Orion Township. So having all of those designations is really helpful to help us think holistically. But as the MPO, some of our really fun work, I will say, is we get to facilitate a number of funding programs. And our largest funding program is actually our TIP, our Transportation Improvement Program, which funds a lot of surface transportation projects that is federally funded. And so, for example, we have $3.1 billion in federal funds that we help figure out what projects need to get funded in Southeast Michigan. And a big partner of ours is we oversee the process, but a big partner of ours is, and I know of yours, is the Road Commission for Oakland County. So we thank the Road Commission for the work they do in facilitating that process for us, and also in being supportive of the activities in Orion Township. We think that we often can be the connection for local governments between the federal programs, the data and information and the technical resources we have, and then the on-the-ground projects that you guys know and help facilitate. So we're glad to be a part of it. It actually makes all that regional work much more fun to do when we get to see local projects being implemented. And it's a lot of fun for me, it's a lot of fun for our staff at SEMCOG to be involved in. So one of the programs that we help that information for is the Transportation Alternatives Program, or some people call it the TAP program. This is one of our federal funds funded through the bipartisan infrastructure law that we help facilitate, and we really have seen made a big difference in our region. And it's been around a long time. It's been around prior to the bipartisan infrastructure law as well. And because of that, we can really track what have we been able to do with this project. And TAP has funded 152 projects across Southeast Michigan, $90 million, just from one funding source. So when we see things like pedestrian and bicycle safety facilities, trails, pathways, even some streetscape, some of that has been funded. You know, we have 152 projects across Southeast Michigan. But we're excited because these projects help to make our downtowns more walkable, ensure our students can access and get to school safely, and it connects our major regional trails together. A lot of different things, including filling some critical gaps in sidewalks and paths, and that's one of the reasons we're here today. So we do appreciate the support of our congresspeople. I know in your area it's Congresswoman McLean and their support in Washington, D.C. for these programs. These programs are actually up for reauthorization. So being able to talk to our congresspeople about how important the TAP program is another reason that we gather everybody together today to say thank you and to really highlight how much you all locally are using these federal programs. So today we're here to celebrate a TAP project that was awarded to Orion Township by the Regional Review Committee. Now the Regional Review Committee is a committee of SEMCOG that's all elected officials. Our staff does an amazing job of working with you all and trying to figure out what projects make sense. But it's really the peers of the elected officials across the region that look at the projects and select which projects they want to move forward on. So this Regional Review Committee does really want to focus on improving safety of our transportation system, especially for those that walk and bike. And that's exactly what this project does. So this is an emphasis that we share with you all in Orion Township. I know I've been at SEMCOG for 31 years, and for just about that long, I know that Orion Township has been active in pedestrian safety, as well as doing, all of your safety paths for years and years. So you all have done some wonderful work over the years. So we have funded a number of projects. One of the funding projects and technical support that we have been able to provide to you all is the expansion of the Iron Bell Trail, specifically along Clarkston Road. And we are excited to be able to provide funding for this project, which will fill a critical gap in multiple miles of paths within Orion Township, a little bit of Independence Township, we think, together. And being able to fill a gap, lead to those regional trail systems, and connect Orion and Clarkston together. And my wise companion has told me that sometimes the gaps that are in the system are gaps for a reason. And I think this is an example of, when you look at the pictures, why on your left, why it's a gap for a reason. We totally believe in the protection of our natural resources at SEMCOG, and we also know that our residents need safe ways to access the neighborhoods and our natural resources and our trail system. And I think this project will be a balance of that. So we're excited to provide this check. So why don't you, Supervisor, come on up and run away with it. So we'll let the supervisor come up and make a few remarks, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amy and SEMCOG team. So this is an amazing day for our community, and it speaks about the importance of regional collaboration, and I have given so much of my time to this awesome organization because I believe in it. I believe in working together with all of our neighbors in Southeast Michigan to make this a better place to live and raise your families and play. And the unique thing about this project, and we say it all the time, Orion Township, we're living as a vacation. I'm so glad you hammered that home for everyone. The good news is, we say this all the time in planning, the good news is we have 42 lakes in our 36 square miles. The bad news is we have 42 lakes in our 36 square miles if you're trying to build anything, including a straight road or a sidewalk, and that's been the challenge here. And so I want to give huge credit to our Parks and Rec Director and Assistant Director, Aaron Watley, and Chelsea Petrucia, and the Parks and Paths Advisory Committee. Our Township Board members that are here today, our Treasurer, Matt Pfeiffer, our Clerk, Julia Dalrymple, our Trustee, Jack Lovett. I think that's the board members, but we have a lot of amazing staff, and I'll let Aaron Watley just mention them in a moment. But we have planned this out. There is a method to our madness, and this connection is critical, and we built right up to it on both sides, but the part we didn't build was the expensive part. And that's because we have all these great wetlands and lakes, and we want to protect them. But I just ran into somebody at the grocery store the other day that said this is her running route, and she saw the news release, and she's nervous every time she runs this section. She feels like she's taking her life in her own hands, and we've talked to the neighbors for years. And about a decade ago, when we were lobbying to be on the Iron Bell Trail, when I would just had started this job, that's the trail that connects Michigan from Ironwood and the UP to Belle Isle and Detroit. and we were successful in having that trail, the biking portion, run through Orion Township, we knew we had some tough connections. And SEMCOG was amazing in funding us, over $3 million for that first large connection. And then this is another really important connection to get our residents safely around the community, but also to Independence Township, Clarkston, and other areas. I know we have some avid bikers in the room who have been pushing this. So thanks to the volunteers and the people that have had the vision, because without that, we aren't able to put great grant applications together. Thank you, Samantha Timko, our Chief of Staff, and Chief Grant Writer, who's been instrumental in helping us secure these funds as well. So you are all part of this celebration, and when it's built, it'll be another great place to walk and bike safely and take great senior pictures also, as we've learned from our other TAP grant, the Paint Creek Poly Connector. That's like a favorite spot for senior pictures in the fall, like you're in the trees. So we're so grateful. This is so important. Collaborating with your neighbors in the region is critical. And I want to, if it's okay, just invite our Parks and Rec and past director up, Aaron Watley, just to recognize the committee.
I'll be short and sweet, but I don't want to SEMCOG has been such an amazing resource for the township. All the way from, Chris said, the Joanne Van Tassel Bridge along Paint Creek. Even before that, SEMCOG has been an advocate for conservation and supporting us with Rudd's Mill Restoration Project. You guys helped us take the lead and collaborate between multiple organizations to remove that dam structure and bring natural river flow back to our Blue Ribbon trout stream. So we're very grateful for that. And your support continues as we go on. The community has identified this area for many, many years. Our Parks and Path Committee, Joanne Purdon, Thomas Fisher. This is a very important leg for us. It's a very difficult leg for us. The community is supported with the safety path millage for many, many years, and it's just a fraction of the cost to make these beautiful connections and these beautiful trailways. So I'm super thankful, very grateful for SEMCOG, for Orion Township, the conservation efforts. We have some of our team here that help support the efforts. Forrest Burr, he takes care of our safety path maintenance. Connor Ryder, our natural resource specialist. Again, very grateful for this. We'll do you proud, SEMCOG and TAP Grant, and we will continue to build safe pathways while taking care of our natural resources. Thank you.